Let's get into day 6 of training. Looks like maybe East, West have the majority of the values here. So we will, I always forget. Let's make East the declarer and see what this hand is all about. Okay. So club contract first. Let's take a look. I mean, obviously North-South have the majority of the clubs, but East-West with all these missing values might be fairly well situated to take some tricks. If East-West just end up pulling trumps, what ends up happening? They have to lose a spade. They're gonna lose 2 clubs. They're gonna lose the long club. I mean, I guess maybe they don't end up losing a spade. The spades can go on the diamonds. So like, just as a simple example to try and get us some sort of baseline of what's happening. I mean, if South starts out by like pulling 2 rounds of trumps and then switching to hearts to try and set up their side's heart trick, well, declarer can say, win the queen. I mean, it doesn't matter if North covers or not. And then declarer can pull 2 more rounds of trumps. North can throw diamonds. Declarer is going to hook anyway. And now declarer can just run diamonds. South can rough in whenever they want, but then East's hand is going to be high. No beer. So this would get us up to 3 total defensive tricks for North-South. Can they do better? My suspicion is yes, although it's not so obvious to me how. Like, for example, if South were to lead a heart instead of pulling 2 rounds of trumps, declarer could rough a heart in East's hand. And then start running diamonds through South. Yeah, so like, for example, on a heart lead, again, declarer can win the queen, play a heart over, play a diamond over, rough the heart loser, play a spade over to the ace to take a diamond hook, and now just start playing high diamonds. And what's South supposed to do? So South could so if South roughs, declarer could, what happens here? Declarer over roughs, spade to the king, plays another diamond. Rough over rough, exit a spade, but then North can pull trumps. So it looks like in that case, the defense actually does get 4 tricks. So like if declarer were to over rough this, spade to the king, lead another diamond. I mean, it could definitely go rough over rough at this point. But now if South exits a club, great. South wins, pulls trumps, and cashes a heart. And if Declare exits a spade, North wins and then pulls trumps. So is it possible that instead of overroughing the 3 clubs, Declare could just like discard a spade here? Does that somehow help? I think the answer is no, because if we pitch a spade, South switches to spades, setting up a spade trick in North's hand, and now another diamond, and now South roughs again. And okay, if Declare pitches a spade loser, well, that's the defense's second trick, and they still have the ace-king of clubs coming. And instead, if Declare overroughs at this point, there's no way back to East's hand to play the 10 of diamonds to pitch a spade. And I mean, even if they could lead the 10 of diamonds here, North would be able to rough. So it looks like still 3 more losers from here for Declare. So that plan doesn't work. I was kind of thinking that it might, but I guess that's just the fact that Declare just has so many spades to discard is a big problem on those diamonds. So maybe a heart lead from South actually does start to build up a 4th defensive trick. Um, what happens if Declare tries to pull trumps themselves after a heart lead? Like heart, let's say the queen wins. We could think about if North covering with the king matters, but Queen of Hearts holds, club to the queen. I assume South would take the ace, play another heart. It looks like it still comes out the same. North-South get to play 2 hearts before Declare has pulled 2 rounds of trumps. And that means that North is still going to have a club left, which, I mean, among other things, means that Declare can't like play 5 rounds of diamonds. North could rough. So I think a heart lead is going to hold Declare to 9 tricks. And I mean, it's possible that other leads will as well. Is there any other lead that looks profitable in some way? I mean, a spade lead doesn't really help, although maybe it doesn't hurt. North has no entry, basically, so setting up a spade trick in North's hand doesn't really do much. Yeah, I do think the 2 logical leads to look at are club and heart. So double dummy does in fact suggest that any lead is good enough to hold Declare to 9 tricks, but as we had kind of talked about before, after ace of clubs, if South continues the king of clubs, then Declare is in plenty of time to pull 4 rounds of trumps and run the diamond suit through South. So South would now have to, I guess, make a more passive exit. Either spades to work on killing the entry in the king of spades to East's hand, or a heart to work on setting up their side's heart trick. So, okay. 1 club we've taken a look at. Let's take a look at diamonds. How about a diamond contract for East-West? Well, we have kind of an interesting club suit in and of itself when East leads the 2 of clubs towards the Jack 10 in West's hand, if South ducks, then Declare loses 1 fewer club trick. And if South wins, then Declare hasn't needed to squander an honor on this club. And so then they'll be able to set up 2 club discards for spades. So does Declare actually have the entries and timing to do all of this? Like, I don't know what the most productive lead is from South, whether it's a spade or a heart. Probably a spade to attack the late entry to the clubs, because the Queen Jack 3rd of hearts is not really an entry to anything. Declare will eventually take heart finesse to lose 0 heart tricks, but it's not like North has to cover the queen with the king setting up an entry. So let's look at a spade lead. See if the defense can get a 3rd trick here on defense. All right. I mean, it looks like yes, and it does not look like this is going to be very difficult, does it? South leads a spade. Well, to preserve the entry to the long clubs, we need to... Actually, maybe even a simpler thing to think about is we could just go ace king of clubs and lead a 3rd round of clubs. North could rough out one of the Jack 10 of clubs, and then North's queen 10 3rd of spades will take a trick. Okay. Much simpler. But I do think the spade lead also works. So the 10 forces out the king. I mean, to prevent 3 rounds of clubs, I guess we should pull trumps now. So diamond to the king, diamond, diamond. I guess South's discards don't matter. Declare can pitch a spade, for example, and then pitch a heart. And now we can lead the 2 of clubs. Fine. I mean, if South plays low, we just win the club and knock out the queen of spades. Take a heart finesse along the way. But South will win and then just knock out the spade ace. And great, we're in dummy for the last time. We can take a heart finesse, but North doesn't have to cover. So now we can knock out the club ace. Actually, in this exact position, we could pull another round of hearts and then throw South in with the club queen. They would have to either give dummy access to the 2 clubs to ditch our spade losers, or they would have to duck, allowing us to set up a spade. So going all the way back here on this 4th round of trumps, South needs to pitch a club. Did I miss something? Why does it look like we can actually make 11 tricks? Double dummy is suggesting to us that we can make 11 tricks here. I feel like I must have missed something. So South goes up with the club king, switches to spades. We win the ace. Ah, very clever. So what we can do in this position is we can not take the heart finesse. We could just play a club to the queen. And this is going to work because North started with a doubleton club. So if South wins the ace of clubs, then South is end played in 2 ways. If they play back a club, then we get access to dummy to pitch our spade losers, and then we get to take the heart finesse. If they play back a heart, once again, we get to take the heart finesse, and then that gives us access to dummy's Jack 10 of clubs. Instead, South could try ducking, but now what we do is we just exit a spade, so we've lost 1 fewer club, but now North wins, and North is end played into leading hearts, giving us the heart finesse. Uh-huh. Very cool. Yeah, fascinating position here. And so this always is going to work, actually, on a spade lead. Because North started with a doubleton club, there's no way for South to or for North to avoid the end play later in the hand by getting thrown in with the spade queen, because Declare is going to pull 4 rounds of trumps. They're going to play 2 rounds of spades to strip out the 10 and 5 so that South is out. And then they're going to play 2 rounds of clubs, throwing either South in or to strip out North's clubs if South ducks. And then the end play will function to allow them to get the heart trick. So I think what this means actually is that ace, king, and another club is necessary to hold this contract to 10 tricks. That will rough out one of the clubs prematurely, and then Declare just has a spade loser. And I assume there isn't anything else that comes up. But you can never be certain with these things, right? So defense needs to be careful, though, because now finally we get to talk about squeezes. I mean, squeezes come up all the time single dummy, but double dummy, I think it's pretty rare for squeezes to actually manifest. Because if you know where all the cards are, you can just time the play differently or take finesses differently. But here, so after another round of clubs gets roughed and over-roughed, Declare can lead a diamond to the king, and then lead the queen of hearts, and I'm pretty sure North has to cover this trick, which is crazy to think about, because normally you would just say, well, what's the difference? Well, if North plays low on this trick, now Declare can... Wait a second. Yeah, now Declare can just pull trumps, cash the ace of hearts, and then play a spade to the ace, and the jack of clubs is going to squeeze North. Sorry, I had to pause and think for half a second on this, but we now cash the ace of hearts, cash the 10 of diamonds, and South's hearts are not useful anymore. I mean, I guess the club is not useful either, but North can come down to queen third of spades and the king of hearts, but now spade to the ace and the jack of clubs. 3 jacks, look at that. Jack of clubs will squeeze North on this trick. Spade discard allows Declare to take the last 2 tricks in spades, and a heart gives the jack of hearts a trick. But if we go all the way back, what North can do on the queen of hearts is actually kind of transfer the guard in hearts to South. So North can cover with the king of hearts. And now the 7 of hearts is the threat card, but South holding the 9 of hearts actually gives the defense leverage here. So if Declare does try to run the diamonds at this point, kind of taking a similar line of play previously, pitching the spades, well, we can cross in hearts, fine. But now on the jack of clubs, North can actually discard the 10 of hearts. They can keep the spades protected, and South keeps the hearts protected. So kind of interesting that Declare, obviously from a single dummy perspective, has this this sort of swindle, we'll call it, available to them if the defense is not careful. And I mean, it's very natural to not cover the queen of hearts with the king in this position. Normally you want to sit with like the king 10 over the jack rather than wasting your king. And now, you know, you might get end played later into leading away from the 10 or something like that. So I think for most strong defenders, they would kind of very naturally just play low here and might fall victim to this trap. And I think that, you know, less experienced defenders might just cover an honor with an honor. Or they'll be like, well, if I cover the queen with the king, then my 10's behind the jack, and that's good for me. And they'll think about it that way. Whereas, you know, maybe this is a situation where more experienced defenders would go wrong more often than less experienced ones. But anyway, all this is to say, I think that South has to cash the ace king of clubs and then lead another club to hold this to 10 tricks, which is a lot more interesting than I thought, looking at the hand from the onset. But it was a good thing that we identified that pretty early. And it was very interesting to actually look at this end play. I don't know if I mean, I probably have seen something like this, but I think this is very rare where you have basically like a double end play. I mean, it feels reminiscent of like a double squeeze to me in some way. Both defenders have interesting decisions after the spade lead, but depending on what they choose to do, you can end play one of them, or you could end play the other one of them in two completely different ways. Very interesting. All right, let's look at a heart contract. So probably a good idea for the defenders to try and pull trumps here. They do have 8 of them. And this might end up being interesting. I mean, the first trick specifically. So, like, after a heart lead from south, I think it might matter which heart West plays. And I think the 7 of hearts is the right play, or the right card to play. Because if East calls for the Queen of Hearts, now North actually can cover this trick. So if North doesn't cover this trick, the entries to East's hand, so Declare could do something like let me stare at this for a second. Maybe it actually doesn't help. I was thinking Declare could play diamonds through South, but South can actually pitch spades on those diamonds. Because if South tries to rough Declare's diamond winners, then they'll get overruffed. And then Declare could cash spades ending in East's hand and do it again. And the Jack and 7 of hearts will be able to overruff the 9 and 6. But I think what can happen is after diamond, 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 South can actually just ditch a spade. Like, Declare could have taken the ace king of spades if they wanted to. And so South effectively is just discarding a loser on a loser on this trick. And I mean, sure, Declare could like cash the king of spades at this point after seeing this and then play another diamond. But now when South roughs, there's no way back to East's hand. So it'll go rough, over rough, fine. But now what's Declare supposed to do? They can exit a club. But now one more round of hearts pulls trumps. I guess Declare, or not Declare, I guess East-West still get a spade trick. Okay, maybe this is not as clear as I had thought. Because now East can just like return a spade, for example. Declare has to, or South has to rough, and then the ace of spades is going to take a trick eventually. North has 2 trumps, South has the king of clubs, but North's queen of spades is still a loser. So East-West get up to 8 tricks here. Okay. Okay, so that's 8 tricks for East-West on that sort of trump lead, even if it goes heart, queen, low, low. But it feels like stronger defenses for North to cover the queen of hearts with the king, because then North-South have a lot of the intermediate heart spots. Let me look at that for a second. So heart, queen, king, ace. Now if Declare tries 3 rounds of diamonds, South can rough with the 9 of hearts. West could discard. Does the 3 of hearts come into play? Oh, this is interesting because North can't actually ruff the 3rd round of clubs with the 2 of hearts. It'll get over ruffed with the 3. I mean, the answer might be no, but I'm curious. Okay. So let's say heart, queen, king, ace. 3 rounds of diamonds. So I said South could ruff with the 9 of hearts. I mean, we already talked about what happens if South like discards in one of these scenarios on the spade, ruffs the 4th round of diamonds. I mean, West doesn't have to overruff at some point. They would basically be overruffing with a natural. So maybe West could discard and that could aid East-West a little bit. They took 8 tricks before. They're going to end up getting 2 hearts, 2 diamonds. How did they get 8 tricks before? Man, 8 tricks feels like a lot. I guess they ended up getting 3 diamonds, 2 hearts, a diamond ruff, and 2 spades. That makes sense. Okay, let's look at what I'm thinking about. I do wonder if maybe 8 tricks is just always I haven't thought about what happens if Declare or East plays low on the 4 of hearts lead, but I'm not sure that it matters. Let's say it goes Queen of Hearts, King, Ace. And now 3 rounds of diamonds come. So I was originally thinking South might ruff with the 9 of hearts. But West doesn't have to overruff. And if South were to ruff low, obviously West could overruff. They cash 2 spades, and then a 4th round of diamonds. I mean, the Jack of Hearts already represents an extra trick for Declarer at that point. So that would get them up to well, only 7, actually. Yeah, I guess that would only get them up to 7 tricks for the time being. Like ruff, over ruff. This is 4. 2 spades and 1 heart gets them up to 7. But where do East-West get another trick? Maybe they don't. Because now North can basically just pull trump. North-South can pull trumps when they get in and lead spades towards the Queen 10 to set up a spade trick, ruff the Jack of Diamonds in South's hand. So like if East-West go Ace King of Spades and a diamond, South just ruffs, and North's hand's effectively high, except for the Jack of Hearts. I wonder if I need to take a look at this idea then with the other line of play as well. Because I had South discarding a spade, but maybe that was just a bad idea overall. It's really hard to know when you're supposed to pitch a loser on a loser. Especially on defense, but I mean, we're just solving double dummy problems, so it's irrelevant which side we play for. But yeah, maybe I had the wrong the wrong plan from the start on this one. Huh. I mean, I really don't see a way to make more than 7 tricks for east-west from here. North-south plans are just too simple. On basically any lead or any play from west, they pull trumps and then use a club entry and a diamond ruff to lead spades up towards the queen 10 twice. So was there something better that Declare could have done? Heart, queen, king. I mean, Declare could work on the club suit rather than playing on diamonds. I guess there's no reason not to. Like, lead the 2 of clubs. Obviously, if South ducks, that's good news for Declare, so South would have to win. And I guess South would just continue pulling trumps at this point. Is that right? I mean, it definitely looks like if South just continues another heart here, that the defense is going to collect 6 tricks. Like, whatever West does from now, North-South can just pull one more round of trumps, use the ace of clubs and a diamond ruff entry to lead spades up twice, and they'll collect from here 1 trump winner. They pull the 7 of hearts, the ace of clubs. They'll score 2 trumps on a cross ruff, and they'll score the queen 10 third of spades. That'll be 5 more tricks to go with the 1 that they already have. So that looks like 6 total tricks for North-South, which is the same amount that we got to from the other line. That one where they play 3 rounds of diamonds and South just roughs low, which I honestly would never have occurred to me. I don't think roughing low ever would have occurred to me as South. It just feels so weird to let Declare score a ruff with a small trump, like especially when you're effectively discarding a trump yourself. But yeah, I mean, I guess it is the best defense. So I guess it looks like we're thinking that North-South are going to end up, well, East-West are going to make 1 heart, is what we think is going to happen. So that does look like exactly the conclusion we've reached. I'll step through the play a little bit, and we'll just see if anything interesting happens during these first couple of tricks. It doesn't really look like it. Excuse me. Well, apparently I was correct that I think North. It does look like in this position, North should be playing the King of Hearts if they know exactly what the heart holding is around the table. But I'm a little bit surprised that playing low heart actually happened to lead to 8 trick. And unless we already counted that, right? The Jack of Hearts takes a trick. 3 rounds of diamonds. If South didn't discard and they ruffed, West could overruff. Okay, we already counted this one out. Yeah, we absolutely did count this one out. So North does need to play the King of Hearts. And now the point being that on 3 rounds of diamonds, South, well, they can ruff with the 9 of hearts. So apparently that's also good enough. I don't remember what we looked at in that line. But even the 5 of hearts is a good enough card to play. Kind of interesting. But South definitely can't discard. Otherwise, Declare is just going to be able to cash the ace of diamonds and do it again, basically, and probably score enough tricks that way. Okay, well, so one heart making one in the 3-2 fit. Well played. Let's take a look at one spade. North has a spade trick. South has 2 club tricks, and that's it. Is that what we're going with? I think that might be what we're going with. This one really does not look that challenging. So I think 2 rounds of clubs necessary. Otherwise, Declare could pull 2 rounds of trumps and then run 5 rounds of diamonds as North falls to 4 of them, pitching 3 clubs from West's hand. And then they'll make an 11th trick. Low club lead would give up a 12th. But yeah, I think this is the one and only boring hand analysis that we've done so far in the whole series. Just 10 tricks. Sounds like East-West should bid 4 spades. Do they have values for game? East has a strong no trump. West has a 12 count. Sounds like they do. But now the question we've all been waiting for is no trump better than spades, despite the 4-4 fit? Let's find out. So in no trump, I mean, off the top, Declare has 5 diamonds. 2 hearts and 2 spades is 9. Can they get a 10th? Yeah, I mean, it looks like they can easily get a 10th. They just knock out the spade queen, right? Now, they don't have time to get an 11th because South could lead a heart at trick 1. Or North could lead a heart at trick 1, depending on who's playing. Because to get an 11th trick, Declare would need to be able to set up a club. 5 diamonds, 2 spades, 2 hearts. Well, and 2 clubs, basically. They would need to be able to set up 2 clubs. Which they could do on their own. Like, if South were to, for example, lead a diamond, Declare could win and lead the 2 of clubs. And South is kind of in a pickle again, the same that we saw in the diamond contract that we looked at earlier. It's not like if South ducks this trick, it's necessarily bad for them because Declare was always planning to set up a club trick. But what happens is that now when Declare plays a second round of clubs, they cut communications. And now South is, I don't know the technical term, like Morden's forked or forked in some way, that if they take the ace of clubs, okay, that sets up the jack of clubs, and that's Declare's 11th trick. And if they don't take the ace of clubs, then they never get it. And Declare can now knock out the queen 10 third of spades for their 11th trick. So they'll lose just 1 club and 1 spade. And I mean, obviously, if South were to win the first round of clubs, well, that's great. Now they can switch to spades, but it's too late. Declare can then just lead the queen of clubs, and there's the same sort of fork. If South ducks, fine. Then Declare steals a club trick and then knocks out the queen of spades. And if South takes the ace, then 2 clubs are set up in dummy to get 11 tricks. So diamond lead does look like it gives Declare an 11th trick, but a heart lead will hold Declare to 10. Yeah, and in fact, apparently even a spade lead has the ability for Declare to take an 11th trick. I wonder why that's the case. Spade lead. Oh, I mean, it's the same idea. North just has no entry. So Declare can afford to play 2 rounds of spades in the process of setting up their club suit. Yeah. Okay. Like, if South takes 2 clubs, then they don't have a 3rd spade to play to cash North's queen. Gotcha. But a heart lead holds Declare to 10 tricks. So double dummy par. East-West need to find their way to no trump, not spades on this one. And take a diamond finesse against the jack. All right, 40 minutes. Yeah, I do have things to do, so let's just move on to bidding. Let's get a new hand. Take a look. Could be interesting. Let's pull it up. Looks like East-West have the ability to bid something here. Okay, we'll pretend that East is the dealer. So there are actually a couple of possibilities for East's opening bid. I think I'm interested in exploring a bunch of different ones. Let's start with like a solid 2 heart opener, just like natural. We'll talk about maybe multi in the future and see if this comes into play. But if East just opens like a normal preemptive 2 hearts with their hand, I know a lot of people might say this is silly, but I don't think it's that crazy. I mean, if your opening bid style is like 12 to 14 as the weak no trump, like this is a really bad 11 count. I know you have 2 aces, but 3 jacks, really weak heart suit. 2 hearts is not a bad description. Let's think about this for a minute. So 2 hearts, West with 14. I don't know. Pass. Probably. Like, I'm not even convinced at Imps that West wants to go exploring for game. Like, what do they need, right? So partner has like ace jack 10, 6 of hearts, and what? Like the king of clubs? I mean, that would be pretty good. It's still only 9 tricks. And we could just be off the first 4, obviously. If East has like 3 diamonds and 2 spades, even with the ace of spades on side, you might just lose the first 4 tricks and 4 hearts. And 3 no trump obviously doesn't make a ton of sense on the West cards because partner could have a stiff diamond or something like that. Like, I'm certain 4 hearts is going to be a more likely make than 3 no on the West hand. But yeah, I mean, it's probably just 2 hearts pass. And I think even if we're playing like a multi-structure and West opens, 2 hearts in a multi context, showing like 8 to 11, 8 to a bad 11 or something, I think West is still just passing. Is that correct? I don't know. That I'm a lot less familiar with, multi, because I've never played multi, so I'm not really sure. I'll put an asterisk next to 2 hearts. Okay, let's look at a tier of 1 auction where East opens a heart now. So West will start with, I mean, I would love to play a system where West starts with 2 clubs. I don't know if people do that. But I think this is the best response to a 1 heart opener. I mean, unless you're playing some sort of fancy like 1 no game force thing and then start doing relays, which like I'm still not a fan of relays. I think relays are overall just bad, but a lot of people like them because it makes their life easier in auctions, less thinking involved. So heart 2 clubs. East rebids 2 hearts, showing 6. Now I actually haven't considered any of this bidding theory, and I do not remember the answer to this. If you bid 2 clubs with a 4-card spade suit here, do you bid 2 spades in this position, or do you only bid spades if your partner bids 2 diamonds? That I actually don't know the answer to. Because we would definitely prefer to play a 4-4 spade fit to a 6-2 heart fit. And there might be a piece of personal partnership preference in this, where some players might think that East should be rebidding their 4-card spade suit here, with maybe variably depending on their hand type, even when they're 6-4 in the majors, and some people would just say always make the cheaper bid. I tend to be of the belief that we always make the cheaper bid, so I guess that means West should be bidding 2 spades. It should be natural. And so now East can rebid 2-no to say I'm balanced. Now West has a question, because West's hand is also balanced, and it's very possible that no trump is going to be the right place to play instead of hearts. Let me try and construct a hand where that's true, though, because I'm a little bit nervous that East might not have the heart ace. And if East doesn't have the ace of hearts, like let's say their hand is ace of spades, ace of diamonds, king of clubs or something. We play a no trump, they lead a diamond, knocking out partner's ace, or they lead a spade even, knocking out one of our honors. We play the king of hearts, they take the ace, they play another spade, knocking out our honor, or at that point they switch to diamonds. We win, unblock the heart queen, cross to East hand and clubs, play another heart, knocking out the jack of hearts. I mean, this is a very specific layout. It's very possible East has the jack of hearts or the ace of hearts for their 6-card suit. I mean, it would be a little bit disappointing here if East's hand was like queen and 1, ace empty 6th, ace and 1, jack 3rd, because then we might just go down and 3-0 on a diamond lead. Whereas in hearts, we would be able to unblock the king, queen of hearts, rough back to East's hand, pull trumps, and then I guess try a club hook. We'd lose a diamond, a spade, and a club. And no trump would require like not a diamond lead, or the queen of spades being an entry, or I don't know, something else silly happening on defense. I mean, the idea of playing in no trump when we have king queen doubleton upset ace empty 6th is pretty enticing to me. But I think there's enough of a chance that East just like has a singleton diamond or something like that, or one of these deadly hands where we can't unblock the heart. So I think West is going to show their heart support. And now that we've found a fit in our major suit, we're below game forcing. East 3-no bid, or 3 of a major +1 if you're doing that, is going to be some sort of non-serious slam try. So I guess East is just going to bid 4 hearts. I mean, they have 2 key cards. But the rest of their hand is so bad. it is probably a 4-heart bid. And if all a partner needs is 2 key cards, well, so be it. I mean, 2 key cards in both of the suits that they didn't bid seems like a bit of a stretch to say that this is all partner's looking for. And if so, I mean, maybe they'll bid again. Then they probably have 5-level safety if they're like, well, we're just off 2 aces. Let's try and see how many of those partner has. Oh, partner has 2 of them. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we should move towards slam then. Okay. So we could kind of even consider this like a precision auction, although in precision it might actually go 1 heart, 4 hearts. Yeah, let's actually think about that. Oh no, it's not going to go 1 heart, 4 hearts. It's going to go 1 heart, 2 clubs, 2 hearts, 4 hearts in precision. Let me look at this auction for a moment. 1 heart, 2 clubs, 2 hearts, 4 hearts. Do I prefer that? I'm trying to be objective here. I'm not just going to say, well, I think that these auctions are stupid and this is why I don't play precision. Let's try and think objectively. So this conceals both East and West hands a little bit. I mean, West hand is going to be face up. The 2 club bid and 4 heart bid after the opening lead, but at least the opening leader doesn't get the benefit of hearing about the 4 card spade suit, for example. So maybe they lead a spade and maybe that gives us a trick. Could be a thing that happens. An East hand is a little bit more concealed. Like the 2-no bid definitely suggests a balanced hand, whereas this sort of sequence could obviously be unbalanced. Like East could still be 6-4 in some way. East could be 6-4-3 with a void in some manner. So a bit more revealing. Then again, we didn't really have the opportunity to explore for contracts like 3-no, which may have been the winner. I mean, we didn't really get there, so maybe we could say that in this case, it's better to have this auction. I think that's a fair assessment, that if we're going to get to the same spot, we would prefer to do it in fewer bids. I think this is just always going to be true, because then we give away less information to the defenders. So why is it that precision works better on this hand? I mean, I think the overarching idea is that these auctions tend to be good for precision because they have so many fewer bids. But the real reason that this tends to be better is because like both tables reach the same contract. Like if one room had reached 3-no trump, we might have said, okay, well, whether or not 3-no is the better contract, like the other table got enough information to make a well-reasoned decision about playing in 3-no versus the 8-card major suit fit. And therefore, I would argue that that table did better in the auction. So why did the 2/1 auction get to 4 hearts? Because East was minimum. Can anyone hear like the really loud hail that's going on outside? I don't know. So they got to 4 hearts because East was minimum. So, I mean, East didn't make any slam tries. And because West was kind of minimum, like it's a 14, it's a good 14 count, so it's definitely worth some sort of like non-serious try or some sort of cooperative try if East makes a run at slam. But I think the main issue was that West didn't feel comfortable betting no trump with 4 small diamonds. So I guess the way that we would kind of package this is that if we have minimum opposite minimum in a 2/1 structure, then I mean, game forcing minimums, right? Like we have a minimum opener opposite a minimum game force, so that either you go through some sort of non-serious try and sign off, or you just don't cube it and sign off in 4 of the major. You are going to be behind the precision pair at the other table, or like it seems likely. I mean, we don't have a ton of data points, but this is one data point. And obviously, the precision auction wins this time. Okay. I mean, I buy that because it kind of makes sense that the precision auction where they end up opening a minimum hand, their hand is better boxed in for their partner to be able to evaluate immediately. And so then if their partner also has a minimum game force, then they aren't even going to bother with a slam try, and therefore they're just going to sign off a lot of the time once they find their fit, or they'll just sign off in 3-0. But I guess then the counterpoint would be if West actually did bid 3-0 and it happened to be a reasonable place to play, then we may end up in a different spot than the precision pair at the other table. Okay. I think I might end up skipping the whole Polish club thing, like from here on out, because I don't have any familiarity with the system, and I feel like without system notes to work through to try and figure out what auctions are going to look like, I am probably not going to be particularly effective at learning anything from it. I would really like to try and learn inferences about Polish Club because I'm sure I'm going to run into a ton of them in the tournament we play, but I guess I'll just have to come in fresh and spend more time analyzing at the table and try and work out the problems as they come to me, as opposed to getting some familiarity beforehand. But that's okay. You work with what you got. So, okay. Do I want to look through another auction? No, I think I'm good. I think we're good. We're just trying to breeze through some examples, get the brain working. Let's get a new hand, try and think about some deal for some line of play. This one probably not very interesting. It looks like 4 spades is just going to make 10 or 11 tricks, depending on the location of the spade king. I mean, I would say if you're new to exercises like this, then this type of hand can be worthwhile to look at, because maybe it's interesting to think about the possibility of 5-1 diamonds and then do some sort of calculation based on that, like, or if they lead a club, what are the odds that clubs are 6-2 and that you can discard a heart versus the chance that, I don't know, somehow you go down because they get a diamond ruff or a club ruff or something. So could be, but I'm going to look for something a little bit more detailed. This is quite the hand. Not that interesting to look at from a bidding perspective. I mean, 7 diamonds is just like completely ice cold, right? Most of the time. So let's go again. Um, I mean, this is like a part score deal. We could think about part scores. Part scores are much, much, much more difficult to analyze. So I guess if you're looking for an extra challenge, then you can work on that, because with high card points kind of evenly divided, you're going to have a lot of columns of like, well, if North has this card and South has this card and North has this shape and so on, then there's going to be a lot more to think about. But yeah, let's look for something else that just looks like a typical game contract. Maybe this one, 3 no trump, huh? East-West. That could be something to think about. Sure. If this one doesn't turn out to be interesting, then we can pull up a new one. All right. Let's get our notes out. And we're doing 3 no. Let's say West. And let's say Heart, Jack, lead to make things a little bit more interesting. Okay. Let's think about our lines of play. Line of play A. I guess I was under the assumption we wanted to set up diamonds. The Heart Jack lead might be a little bit too interesting. I'm backtracking. Let's go small club lead. Okay. There we go. Yeah, Jack of Hearts. I mean, we might just change our plan after the Jack of Hearts lead and try and set up hearts. Although it's not even so clear that that would end up working. But anywho. Okay. So small club lead. Obviously, we have 2 options. We can play the queen or 10 and trick 1. Let's assume that North is more likely to lead away from the club king than the club jack. Just, I don't know, for whatever reason. And so, therefore, we probably play the queen of clubs at trick 1. So yeah, we should probably think about what actually happens at trick 1 before we go into line of play A, because we're going to play one of these honors, and depending on whether or not South covers or ducks, you know, for the sake of argument, let's just make it so that club 10 holds. Okay. So I was thinking we probably wanted to set up diamonds. I assume that is still a good plan. So diamond king, cross in spades, set up diamonds, discarding hearts. This is one possibility, yeah. We want to protect that 10 of clubs because that will represent an extra stopper. And just a base guess at how many tricks we're getting. So we're going to get 2 clubs because we have already taken one of them, and we have the ace. 2 clubs, a heart, 3 spades, and 3 diamonds gets us up to 9 tricks. And then we might need to decide what happens in an endgame position. So then I will say, play for safety, for contract safety above all else. So basically, if we get to a situation where we can take the heart finesse for an overtrick, then instead we decide not to. That seems reasonable. Line of play B, let's take a look at. Diamond King, because Diamond King is just going to win, so I don't really see the point in not playing it. Then what? We could try and set up hearts. So we could go like Diamond King, spade to West hand, heart to the 9, get in with the club ace and play a heart to the queen. I mean, this sounds like a terrible plan. Yeah, this is such a bad plan. I'll leave this in here just in case we want to look at it, but maybe I'll put an asterisk next to hand line of play B because I'm not convinced that this is actually a good plan. But Diamond King, cross, and spades, play on hearts, low to 9, low to queen. Sure. This seems terrible. I mean, the defense is going to be able to set up a club trick, 2 diamonds, at least 1 heart trick. So we're taking like at most 9 tricks on this line. I guess that's not true. If hearts are 4-4, or sorry, if hearts are 3-3 with the king on side or Jack 10 on side, then we get 4 heart tricks, 3 spades, 2 clubs, and 1 diamond for 10. Okay, you know what? I'm removing the asterisk. Because we can get 10 tricks like pretty easily, that seems like a line of play that we should actually consider. Do we have a line of play C? Same as line of play A, except maybe we take a heart finesse at the end for an overtrick. That seems stupid. Let's just look at lines of play A and B, because I think B is actually semi-legitimate. Let's look at A. I still think A is best, but that's my cursory analysis without having actually done any sort of math or calculations. Diamond King, cross and spades, set up diamonds, discarding hearts. So the defense is going to be able to set up at least 1 club trick. 2 diamonds. And so I counted us for 9 tricks, right? 3 spades, 3 diamonds, 2 clubs, and a heart. So spades 4-4. So I think 10 tricks is possible on this line. 11 tricks might be possible if like clubs are 5-2 and the heart hook works and the spades split 3-3, but I'm gonna ignore 11 tricks. So 10 tricks is possible. What do I need for 10 tricks? South, king, third of clubs, right? No, not true at all. The 10 of clubs held. So even if North has like King, Jack, 4th of clubs, we always have an extra club stopper. Okay, 10 tricks on this line is actually a lot more likely than I thought, given that our Queen of Clubs is still going to remain to stop the suit an awful lot. So, okay, how does the exact line of play go, though? 10 of clubs, King of diamonds, spade to the ace, Jack of diamonds, pitch a heart. If North gets in and plays back a club, we win the ace, we play another diamond, we pitch another heart. South is in. Maybe South cashes the club king, but at that point our Queen of clubs sets up. Defense is hard. I don't know how the defense is supposed to play on this one. I mean, obviously, North could win the diamond queen and switch to hearts, which may be pretty obvious, actually, from North's perspective. I mean, North could win the ace of diamonds as well, but it just depends where the diamond honors are and who plays what. So let's try and come up with a concrete number. We're taking 3 diamonds. We're taking 2 clubs. If spades are 3-3, we just have 10 tricks. Right? I mean, North could definitely win the second diamond and play a heart throw. And if we were to duck that, then South could switch to clubs, and that might hold us to 9. So let's say there is a... Let's say there's an 80% chance that North wins the second round of diamonds and plays a heart through the ace queen 9 in East hand. Is 80% too high? Well, 80% has to be too high. South might have the ace queen of diamonds. So let's put the chance at an 80% chance that North has one of those cards, the ace or queen of diamonds. So 80% of 3/4, 60% seems fine. Okay, so line of play A, 60% chance North wins second diamond and plays heart. Okay, so in this case, how do we take 10 tricks? 40% North, South wins second diamond. And spades 3-3. Because if South wins the second diamond, our hand is completely protected. We just win the club continuation, then play a third diamond, and force out the other diamond honor, pitching hearts, and then when spades are 3-3, we have 10 tricks. But if spades happen to be 4-2, I think even with a Jack 10 doubleton, we can't unblock the spade suit. So spades happen to be 4-2. We have decided that we're playing safely for our contract, and we only end up with 9, so we're not gonna like take a heart finesse. Okay. If North wins the second diamond and plays a heart through, what is our plan actually? Because I think the answer is we can just cover North's heart card, making sure to keep a second heart stopper. Like if we play the second diamond and North wins and we play a heart and North plays a heart and it goes queen king and then a heart comes back, the defense might be able to take well, actually our 9 of hearts still stops the suit in that case, right? So I guess we can safely play the queen of hearts on a heart switch from North just to try the finesse. Because they can't knock out both the ace of hearts and ace of clubs. But what they could do... Okay, here's the play, right? Club 10, small, small. King of diamonds holds. Spade to the ace. No, I was gonna say something dumb. I think we get 10 tricks still on 3-3 spades. Okay, let's continue the line. Club 10, small, small. King of diamonds holds. Spade to the ace. Diamond. North wins. Heart, queen, king. Okay, what does South do? If South plays back a club... Oh, if South plays back a club, we've lost a heart. We're going to lose 2 diamonds. We're now going to lose a club. Fine. I mean, clubs could be 5-2, but let's just assume clubs are always 4-3. That will make our life easier. Like North leads the 2 of clubs. There we go. That makes things easier for us to take a look at. But we can play the queen of hearts, I think is what we established on our heart switch from North. So there's also a 60% North wins second diamond and heart king on. So this would get us 2 hearts, 3 spades, 2 clubs, and 3 diamonds. We wouldn't need the spades to be 3-3 anymore. I mean, technically North could like really mess with our plan here if when they had the king of hearts on side, they don't switch to a heart. Which in reality, maybe they wouldn't, right? Like maybe they would just play back a spade passively when they had the king of hearts most of the time. So on a heart switch, the king of hearts is more likely to be offside than onside. But like, let's follow the play. Club 10, small, small. King of diamonds holds. Spade to the ace, diamond. North wins. If North now just plays back a club, we win the ace. We force out the last diamond. Let's say South wins and South plays back a spade. Or a diamond, for that matter. Now, a spade, I guess, is important. Well, if we try and play for 3-3 spades, we would have to unblock the queen, play a spade to the ace, and now let's say they split 4-2. We can run the diamond suit. I mean, there might be a show-up squeeze. There might be some sort of, like, weird squeeze thing happening. But it's now not safe for us to take a heart finesse in the end position because technically South could come down to stiff king of hearts, a spade winner, and the king of clubs or a club or something like that. Or because we have to pitch clubs from the east hand, South might just have to come down to king doubleton of hearts and a club. And then we take a heart finesse, and then South plays a club to North, and North cashes a bunch of tricks in the black suits. So technically North could foil our plan to take 10 tricks here if the king of hearts is on, but let's just try and be consistent that 60% of the time North is going to win the second diamond and find the best switch. Because I think it's actually somewhat likely that they do. They know we're playing on diamonds, so diamonds is bad. They know that we cross to our hand in spades, so spades appears to be one of our sources of communication and strength. And playing on clubs doesn't seem to help because the queen of clubs is still going to represent a stopper. So I think that North is going to switch to hearts regardless of whether or not they hold the king a lot of the time in this spot. It's definitely scary. I mean, if they're looking at like king third or something, then you probably don't switch to hearts. Declare would always run it around to the jack if they have jack doubleton, and that could blow up the entire hand. So anyway, but we'll just leave it at that. So that's the chance for 10 tricks. Let's do 9 tricks on this line. So this is going to be 40% of the time South wins second diamond and spades 4-2. I think always when spades 4-2. I mean, there might be some show up squeezes or something on North that take form. But let's see. If South wins the second diamond and plays back a club, the defense is going to have 2 diamonds, a club that they have set up. If we set up the 4th round of spades for them, they'll have a 4th trick on defense. And then if we take heart finesse and it loses, we could lose a 5th trick. So I'll say that all of the time we end up with just 9 tricks on this, in this case. Or the 60% of the time North wins second diamond and heart king off. Is there another chance for 9 tricks, or is there another possibility for 9 tricks in this case? I think no. I'm going to say spades 4-2 or worse. Maybe I should just say not 3-3. Whatever, 4-2 or worse. We know what that means. And I think these are the only 2 possibilities, right? Like this line of play seems to guarantee the contract after the 10 of clubs holds, which feels pretty good, even if we're thinking match points. Okay, let's look at line of play B. Diamond, king, cross and spades, play on hearts, low to the 9, low to the queen. Okay, I need to... I just... What a silly line of play. So 10 tricks happens when? 10 tricks happens with king third or jack 10 third on, right? And that's it. Like that's all we need. I mean, I'm making this assumption that the king of diamonds always takes the diamond trick, but that seems like a very safe assumption. No one's going to scoop up the stiff king and dummy with the ace if Declare leads it. I mean, unless they're sitting on like ace, queen, jack 10 or something in the suit, but they aren't because we have those cards. Like they're going to trust that we're not leading the stiff king to set up one trick in the suit. We're trying to do it to set up a lot of tricks in the west hand. So, okay. This one is going to be king third or jack 10 third on. That's in hearts. Because then we'll just immediately have 4 hearts, a diamond, 2 clubs, and 3 spades for 10. And the defense will be able to take 1 heart trick because they'll get it per force, and they'll have 2 diamonds that have been set up. I mean, it's not even so clear that they're going to work out to take their diamonds after the king of diamonds holds and we switch to hearts, but let's give them the benefit of the doubt. So like, I think 11 tricks is possible on line of play B, but I'm going to say 10 tricks for the most part. Is there any other chance? I don't think so. I think that's basically it. So let's look at 9 tricks for this line of play. What? Hello? 9? Oh. 9 tricks. Is this going to be one of these like 10 or 7 plans? We're going to take 2 clubs. We've got a diamond. We have 3 spades, so that we're up to 6. That's good. Well, if hearts are 4-2, we do not have entries to set up the suit. That's not true. That's actually not true. If like North has king 4th of hearts, we do actually have entries to set up the suit. We'll just need to preserve the spade queen as an entry. I mean, I guess the big problem is that if we have to lose 2 heart tricks, then then the defense can take 2 diamonds, 2 hearts, and the king of clubs. So that's gonna be 1 trick too many. Okay, so I think hearts 4-2, jack 10 on or king on, and spades 3-3, because we'll get 4 spades, 2 hearts, 2 clubs, and a diamond. And we'll do this before they can knock out our ace of clubs and cash a club. Okay. So that's the only way to get 9 tricks. And then because the other line of play only takes 10 or 9, we'll just say less than 9 tricks for the rest. Okay. Actually, pretty simple hand to analyze. Let's work on the percentages. So what are the odds? 60% chance that North wins the second diamond. Oh, whoops. 40% chance that South wins the second diamond. And spades are 3-3. 36% chance is 14%. Is that how math works? Probably. Or the 60% chance that North wins the second diamond and the heart king is on side. So again, like, maybe it's a bad idea to switch to a heart away from the king here, but we're making this kind of weird assumption. Oh, whoops. Let's do plus 60% times 50%. So this is 14 plus 30 equals 44%. And so therefore, technically, the chance to take 9 tricks is the rest, which should be 56%. I think we had mentioned that there were some things we had kind of overlooked in this case, but let's see if we get to 56% here. See how bad my math was? I'm sure this will be fine. So 40% chance South wins the second diamond, and 64% that spades are 4-2 or worse. Or the 60% chance North wins the second diamond and the Heart King is offside. So this is going to be now 26 plus 30 is 56. Oh my God, we did it. We are so good. So this is technically like a little bit high because this isn't actually 26%. It's a little bit less, and this is a little bit low, but cool. Okay, at least we didn't do something really dumb from a probability perspective. Line of play A looks like the winner. I'm not gonna lie. It was my first instinct, but let's take a look at line of play B just to do a little bit more analysis. King third or Jack 10 third in the heart suit on side. So this is going to be either King third on is 18%, or Jack 10 third on is, oh boy. So there are going to be 3 possible Jack 10 thirds that we haven't already counted, because King Jack 10 on side we've already counted. So this is going to be 3 out of how many possible 3-3 splits are there? It is 6 choose 3. So 3 out of 20. So this is 18 plus 5.5, 23.5%. Yuck. Yeah, that's super yuck. Okay, not too thrilled about line of play B. I mean, it's not that surprising that line of play A is the winner, but yeah, I guess I wasn't expecting it to be this bad. Okay. Hearts 4-2 with the Jack 10 on or King on, and spades 3-3. So this is going to be 36% spades 3-3, and 48% of the time hearts are going to be 4-2, and we need Jack 10 on or the King on. So this is going to be 50% of the time the King is on, or, I mean, this is less than 24% the Jack 10 is on. But it's like Jack 10 on and King offside, so we'll call it 12%. So what is this? 36, 48. So that is like 1/6 times 62. This is like 10%. We'll even be courteous and round it up to 11. I think it's a little bit more than 10%. Yuck. Line of play B is terrible. So the rest of the time is what? 34.5. So this is 65.5%. We go down 2/3 of the time we go down if we take line of play B, whereas we could just claim our contract at trick 1. Or maybe we claim our contract after the King of Diamonds holds. I'm not really sure. But yeah, it does feel like line of play A is the clear winner. Not sure what more to say on this one.